I've decided it's best to give other leaders in the party the opportunity to become our next nominee. I believe that one of our next generation of Republican leaders, one who may not be as well known as I am today, one who has not yet taken their message across the country, one who's just getting started, may well emerge as being better able to defeat the Democrat nominee. In fact, I expect and hope that to be the case.
Mitt Romney on a conference call with supporters saying he's out. Thanks, but no thanks. And was there a secret message in that statement that he made and read? Well, there was quick reaction from all others in the GOP possible field. Jeb Bush tweeted out, "Mitt is a patriot, and I join many in hoping his days of serving our nation and our party are not over." Rand Paul, "I hope to work together with Mitt to grow our party and lead our country forward." Marco Rubio's statement, "He certainly earned the right to consider running, so I deeply respect his decision to give the next generation a chance to lead." And Scott Walker's tweet had a great conversation with Mitt Romney. He's a good man, thanked him for his interest in opening the door for fresh leadership in America. As I mentioned earlier in the show, I was interviewing Governor Walker when he had to pause and take that call from Mitt Romney, and then the tweet came after that. Let's bring in our panel. Jonah Goldberg, senior editor of National Review, Juan Williams, columnist with The Hill, and syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer. Okay, Jonah, thoughts on this announcement and what it means?
Well, up until 2 weeks ago, I thought everyone who was talking about him running 3 weeks ago, everyone who thought he was going to run were crazy. It was a terrible idea. He shouldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, you know, he announced to his base, which is a bunch of donors in Manhattan, that he was thinking about doing it. And for the last couple of weeks, and particularly that speech he gave in Mississippi that you guys covered last night, it sounded like he was really going to do it. So I was actually surprised that he's not going to do it now. I think he made the right decision. The people I've talked to today say that he basically decided that the only way he could have done this would have been bloody and bruising, and if he got the nomination, he would be battered. If he didn't get the nomination, he would have battered somebody else. And so he took the high road, and I think it's good for him and it's good for the party.
Who benefits most, Juan?
I don't think there's any question Jeb Bush benefits most, because you have here a schism within the party and you have an establishment wing that has been looking for a torchbearer. And the question is it going to be Jeb Bush? Mitt Romney came in to say, hey, not so quick. I'm interested. And then you have Chris Christie sitting in the wings.
Who is also having dinner with Mitt Romney tonight.
Right. So you've got lots of Shakespearean drama available to all our viewers. I think that one of the big issues here was the donors and the structure of the campaign. It was a big loss for Romney to see that his key operative in Iowa went to work for Jeb Bush. And of course, Iowa and the whole evangelical wing of the party was going to be a difficult marriage for Romney anyway. But when you stop and think about the folks that, we were just talking about the folks on the phone call in Manhattan, if there's an early primary among Republicans going on right now with the donor class, there was a clear message from the editorial pages as well as from the hedge funds. Mitt, your time has passed.
Charles.
Look, I hate to say I told you so. Well, actually, I love saying I told you so, but I never thought there was any chance he was going to run. And I don't think there's any sort of conspiracy or any convoluted plan here. I think he thought he had a chance. He decided all of a sudden, yes, I'm going to do this. He saw the numbers, and then he got 3 weeks of reaction, which was very negative. And he made the right decision. This is not going to be a good race for him, and it was going to hurt the party. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for the dinner he has with Christie, considering how Christie's slobbering over Obama during Hurricane Sandy damaged Romney last time around.
And what do you think of that line that says new leadership? You think it was a jab at Bush? Do you think he was looking to someone in particular? Or do you think we're reading too much?
No, that was an obvious jab at Bush. It was a jab at those who ran against him in 2012, as also ran, and I would even include a Christie in that list. It was obvious, a tip of the hat to the new generation, the Walkers and the Rubios and others.
All right, we are going to take a walk now to this new place that we've created with a fancy new animation, Candidate Casino. Okay, I know you think it's cheesy, but we spent a lot of time on it. Steve Hayes came up with this idea last Friday that, let's say you have $100 in chips and you have all the candidates there. How do you split your $100 as of today of who will be the nominee at the end? And we got a lot of reactions. So then we put graphics on it, and suddenly we had a roulette wheel, and here we go. $100. Where do you put your chips?
When did cheesiness ever hold us
Never.
back in the pack? I stay with Rubio with the $40. Jeb with the 30. Remember, Rubio's odds are about 5.5 to 1. Jeb's are 2 to 1, so I want to win big with a longer shot. Scott Walker helped himself a lot with the speech he gave in Iowa, so he goes from $15 to $25. And then, since I already had the booze last week, I'm going to spend the remaining $5 on Christie. He's got some running room now with Romney out of the way.
I should point out that you can split the chips and play the field at some point and put money there just for everybody. And also you can play at home. We're going to have a thing on the website. It's going to be very interactive every Friday. Wow.
Wow. Does Steve Hayes get a cut?
I don't know about this yet.
All right. Well, I mean, I think today was a big day, as I said, for Jeb Bush. So I'm going to put 50 on Jeb Bush. I think it's a 50-50 shot for him at this point against the rest of the field. He's clearly the front runner now. I put 20 on Rand Paul, 10 on Marco Rubio. I think, you know, Chuck, you've been drinking a little bit from last week on Marco Rubio. You're high on that guy. 10 on Walker, who is a comer after his great performance, and 5 each on guys who I would categorize as fitting Mitt Romney's designation of the new generation, people like Carson, Ben Carson, the physician from Baltimore, and a little bit like Christie, who's having dinner with tonight, just in case.
All right, Jonah.
Okay, so 2 points I'd like to make. First of all, let's talk about booze. Most of the casinos I go have complimentary table service.
I know. Well, it's part of the deal.
Maybe the online show.
Yeah.
Okay. And second of all, when you play roulette, you're allowed to bet on colors, too. So, I mean, I would bet red, the Republicans are going to win. Anyway, I will split it out. $10 on Cruz, 20 on Rubio, 25 on Bush, and 45 on Walker, who I think is the one guy in the field who actually is completely acceptable to grassroots anti-establishment guys and acceptable to a lot of establishment people.
As the anchor, $100 on the field.